Hi, my name is Whitney Gibson, and I am head of the Internet Defamation Group here at Voorhees, and we handle internet defamation cases all over the country. And through working on these types of cases, I have gotten to know Chris Anderson, who is here with us. He's a co-owner at Cyber Investigations and has developed a lot of new and creative methods to assist people with online defamation. And I also have gotten to know Melissa Agnes, who we work with to help clients deal with online PR issues. She is a social media crisis manager, and I have worked with both of them, and we thought it would be good to all come together and talk about some of the different options that are available for companies and organizations out there to help them deal with online issues, and particularly online defamation. Through all of our own practices, we are seeing an ever increasing amount of risk to companies and damage to companies that is occurring online in their internet presence. And so many of the companies, one of the most important things for them is, if you look at the first page of Google, what it says about them: potential employees, potential customers, potential investors are going to Google and looking to find out information about them. And those companies right now can very easily suffer an enormous amount of harm from people that are setting up defamatory websites about those companies, from fake reviews about those companies, from false things being reported on Ripoff Report and other sites out there. So we wanted to get together and talk a little bit about this. Chris Anderson, I know you are co-owner of Cyber Investigations, and I just thought I wanted to start just by asking you if you could just talk a little bit about some of the options that that you have to help people in dealing with these online problems.
Sure. Well, as you said, we're a cyber investigation group, and a lot of what we do in pretty high volume is deal with clients that have been attacked online, as you said, false websites, false reviews, and invariably nobody goes and signs their name to their handiwork when they do this to somebody. And so as a consequence is you're almost always dealing with some sort of anonymous component. Frequently you have to decide whether, clients will come in and they'll think they know who's behind stuff, but they can't prove it, and they're trying to get it resolved. And so some of the things that we try to tell clients is that it's possible to get some of these situations resolved simply, and sometimes it's going to take more complex procedures, like stuff that you and I, Whitney, get involved in, where we're trying to find out who it is, and then you're bringing litigation against. But so one of the things that wanted to just chat about today is that a lot of these situations can be resolved very quickly, very fast. And the way that often occurs is that if some information is out there, it's false, a lot of times we can come in and we can gain information about the poster that is enough to make that poster uncomfortable. And potentially then when you or us or somebody reaches out to them with that information, then they'll remove it. So for example we see a lot of clients that are attacked by blogs. And one of the things that happens is this blog is out there and they're talking about them and they're asking for information to be submitted against the person or the company. And a lot of times we can gain a lot of information about that blogger, maybe not quite their name yet, but then from there is we can step in, reach out to the blogger, or you can reach out to the blogger as attorney and try to get this resolved very quickly. And we see case after case after case where all of a sudden that defamatory or that harmful material just ceases to exist. They just turn out the lights on the website.
What percentage of cases would you say that you're able to get the defamatory information removed without having to refer them to an attorney?
it depends a lot on the where stuff is located and things like that. So it's hard to answer globally like that. But I would say a global answer is probably 50 to 60% of the stuff we can get removed quickly. But there are certain types of cases where we have like an 80 to 90% success rate. So it really just depends what the person is doing, where they're doing, what information can we gather.
And Melissa, I wanted to ask you, I mean, I've had cases, one where people call and the information is not false, or it's just not false, and there's really nothing I can do with respect to bringing a legal claim against it. And I've also had cases where I filed a lawsuit and there's been a negative reaction to the lawsuit, and people have started posting information about the lawsuit that, again, isn't really false or something that could bring a legal claim. And I know I've worked with you on those types of cases, so I just want to ask you a little bit about the types of things that you can help clients with in those situations.
Good question. My job basically is to help companies and organizations develop the message. So if they're being defamed, or even if they're just being attacked and it's accurately being attacked online, they still need to control their messaging and make sure that they're communicating the right things to their audience. In regards to, I mean, if in all kinds of different aspects. So if something is being posted online and you search the company's name on Google, the negative stuff comes up, you want to make sure that your messaging is found alongside that, if not first. So I help with developing the targeted messages, communicating them on the proper platform. So that means on social media, that means on their website or blog, or on news sites that are very, very highly ranked and already existing online, things like that. And then as well as the SEO aspect of their website, so the search engine optimization, making sure that they're doing a full analysis of their site and finding the gaps where we can strengthen it, so to make sure that their message is really being heard on Google alongside those, the defamation or just the attacks.
Have you had success in, if someone sets up a website or sets up a complaint about a company and it has, some highly negative information about them? Have you had success in being able to move that down web pages so it's not on the first or second page of Google?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's always a difficult task.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially, I've had success with people who didn't have an online presence at all. And an online presence is something that if you don't have it at all, then you're completely vulnerable. And if you don't have a strong one, you're completely vulnerable. So there's always things that we can do, but it's with the search engines, it's always just about analyzing the situation, and then it's a long-term strategy. Nothing happens overnight with Google, as you guys both know, or any other search engine. So,
right, it's one thing. And I've talked to Chris about this, kind of the importance of preparing in the event that some kind of an attack would occur, or a crisis situation would occur. And I know, Chris, you guys actually do some monitoring for some clients of ours, I believe or you do, and to kind of help them immediately be able to identify the stuff before it comes up. And I know Melissa helps clients kind of prepare their online presence, so that in the event of an attack, they're better prepared to deal with something like this. And I find both of these very helpful for clients that I work with, especially in the monitoring that Chris's company provides. There is the statute of limitations is so short in many states. It's 1 year in a lot of states, or it can be 2 years. And so I think it's very important for clients to be able to identify online defamation or negative things in a very early manner. So, if it's a defamation, and either Chris or I can handle it from a legal point of view within the statute of limitations, or Melissa can get on it right away before it spirals out of control. And the courts, it's been very frustrating to a lot of clients I've had that a lot of courts, they do not care if it had moved. If a year ago it was on the 20th page of Google, and then 2 years later it's on the first page. Now it's on the first page, it's a big problem to the client, but it's outside the statute of limitations. So I think both of those. I don't know, Chris, can you just talk a little bit about maybe some of the things that you think would help clients be prepared for something like this? What you see?
Yeah, I think without a doubt is if nothing else, go and monitor your own, whether it's name, company name. We also see a lot of CEOs get attacked in companies, and so and there's some fairly simple ways to do simple level monitoring yourself, and so and you can assign somebody in your organization. But the current rule of thumb out there right now in the online reputation management industry is that a bad, call it a seriously bad review or a bad blog or something out there that it's about you will roughly drop your revenue by 9% per bad thing. And obviously it's a gross, trying to one size fit all kind of thing. But so even, you mentioned statute of limitations, but just the fact that it's out there costing, especially companies, serious revenue is a big deal. And the sooner you find it, then not only from a legal perspective, but also from our perspective, is many times the people can be caught very quickly. The longer they go, however, then the more sophisticated they become.
Well, for me, from the legal point of view, in the attorney handling these cases, I just wanted to add, we've developed a lot of unique methods, and one of the things that helps us is a lot of the search engines, Google, Yahoo, and Bing, they will honor court orders, and so will most of the websites. And so a lot of times what we're looking to do in the event that, let's say, someone like Chris's organization can't persuade the person to remove the material themselves, then we will look to get a court order against the individual that posted it, and try and do that in the most economical fashion possible. We get that court order, and then if we submit it to Google, where a court said it's defamation, our experience has been that they will remove it from the search engines, and that's been primarily the main thing that the clients want, is that when someone searches their name, that false review doesn't come up on the first page. So, that from our perspective is we feel been a big value to a lot of our clients and a big service. So. Melissa, I don't know if you kind of want to talk a little bit about some of the preventative stuff that you
for sure, that companies can do. I also want to say, though, you had said before that I help companies, kind of situate their or gain better rankings before this happens. But I also, the biggest thing that I do with organizations is that I put in social media and online crisis management plans and procedures in place hopefully before they find themselves in the situation, so that when a red flag is, alerting them of a situation that can spiral out of control, that one, they understand how to identify those red flags, and two, they know exactly what procedures, who's responding, if no matter who finds it, where it gets escalated to, and what the company and organization needs to do in order to either protect their brand right away and stop it from going viral, or at least just get their messaging out there in front of everybody's eyes before only the negative stuff starts to go viral. So that said, things that organizations should do before they find themselves in the situation, the biggest thing that I can say to do is to really connect with your market. So have an online presence, and that includes social media wherever your market is. Not everybody's on Facebook, not everybody's on Twitter, but your market is somewhere online. So to have a strong presence within those social networks and to really build or focus on building relationships with your market. So the more you gain trust with your market, the more you have a real human relationship with your customers and your prospective clients, the more, one, they're going to come to your defense in this type of situation. They're going to be on your side, and they're going to be, brand advocates that will just help you through the situation, help you spread your word. But two, if you find yourself in this type of negative situation, you're not going to fall on deaf ears. You're going to have platforms up there with people listening and wanting to engage with your company. So I would say the biggest thing to do is to really work on your online presence and to really start focusing on building relationships with your market online. And that doesn't just mean for the brand, but often in cases it means the executives of your organization as well. So CEOs and your president. The Edelman Trust Barometer just came out this week, and they called it a crisis of leadership. So there's a seriously low percentage of people around the globe that put trust in CEOs. And so when you're in a crisis, it's normally your CEO that's going to come and speak. And if nobody's trusting you, or if people are listening to your CEO talk throughout a crisis and put out your messaging and saying, why, I don't believe anything they're saying, it's not going to help you. So not just your organization to have a presence online, but your executives as well.
Well, I appreciate that. What I want to talk to just a little bit about, and what Chris and myself and Melissa really see most of, is kind of the crisis situation. I mean, we get a call when a company has a website that is up, that is defamatory, that's killing their business, or just some really heinous allegations are being made all over the internet regarding a client that he's engaged in a crime that he hasn't. And when I really started getting into this practice, the thing I realized was there was a lot of people out there that were trying to use the tool that they had been trained in to solve the problem. And once I started working on these cases more and more, I realized that there was different tools that people had, for Melissa in the PR and online crisis management world, and that Chris's company had, and a cyber investigation company and an investigation company that handles such a magnitude of internet defamation cases, and that what you guys brought to the table. And I kind of saw my role as, they always joke, and the quarterback, but I saw my role in a lot of having relationships with you guys, but also assessing a situation and looking at what is going to be the best thing for the client in this situation. A lot of times Chris, for a very reasonable amount, can deal with a problem that you don't even need an attorney. Or sometimes there's cases that there's just no legal claim that can be brought that Melissa can handle, and vice versa. There's cases that I handle completely on my own. But there are a lot of cases that involve a combination of people. So one of the big things I like to stress to people that are looking for help in this area is, if you can look for people that work with others in the area and can bring all the tools to the table. And just kind of one war story. We had a case where there were some terrible things being said about the client online. Worked with a cyber investigation company in Chris's firm, and we were able to identify who was behind it. We were able to file a lawsuit against them, get the worst stuff removed. But then bloggers started blogging about the case, so we had to bring in the PR firm to assist with that. And it involved, each piece of what we have here, and ultimately, I think we're able to give the client the absolute best solution that was out there. So, I just wanted to conclude, by telling people that, when you're looking for help in this area, feel free to you can contact me, email me, visit my website. You can contact Chris at Cyber Investigations, or Melissa at her firm. But, the three of us are always willing to work together and talk to clients about what's the best solution for them and the most economical solution for the problem. So, do either of you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'd just like to concur with that. And many times for people that haven't undergone this, they may assume that the right person to talk to is an attorney or is us, and they may or may not be right. But the good news is if they reach out to one of us, we can rapidly point them to the right party.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and feel free to give us a contact. Thank you.